Where is it? There it is. Peaceful greetings. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, we got that. So, I would like to go over briefly national citizenship. And when we say national or nation, it is interchangeable, synonymous with state. And so, state citizenship, right? And I'm going to read this here, right? This is definition of citizen from Black's Law Dictionary, first edition. It says the term citizen has come to us derived from antiquity. It appears to have been used in the Roman government to designate a person who had the freedom of the city and the right to exercise all political and civil privileges of the government. There was also, at Rome, a partial citizenship, including civil but not political rights. It says that complete citizenship embraced both, right? A national is one who belongs to a nation. A nation is a family of people, group of people. A citizen is one who's able to speak on behalf of themselves and of the nation. When you bring these together, right, this is the highest form or the highest recognition that any member of a state, country, or nation has, right? And so, a national citizen is identifiable by his or her status. So I've come into contact with individuals who say things of the nature, in a time before, in the past, we didn't have ID cards or this and that. Or they'll say something to the effect of, well, only slaves were walking around with documents to identify them. And so this is a very closed-minded thought, right? In these days, right, we as a people have developed a procedure, a process by which we can identify ourselves, right, through our nation. Okay. So for those who feel the way they feel about having something that will actually identify you, if you feel some kind of way, so be it. In these days, the Constitution tells us that we the people are the national citizens. Let me before I go, let me do this. The national government is the USA. Okay, and you know what? Yeah, because I just got it on my mind. Absolutely. All right, so I've heard people, right, and they're like, America's not a country. They say America's not a country. And they'll say there's 54 countries on the continent of Africa, etc. And so I'm going to show you why the USA acts, the whole North American continent, why it is perceived as a country independent from Africa, Asia, Europe, whatever, right? All of the states are independent or sovereign nations or countries. Right? All of the states are independent nations, right? In the same manner that Morocco is independent from Turkey, or Cambodia is independent from China, right? We understand that, right? Now, the difference is that all of these states have united. They've united. So they recognize each other state as being one with the whole body. And thus, all of the states come together to make one independent nation. Okay? There is no United States of Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, etc. They are not united. They are not united as one body. And so when you speak to someone who is from a country, located on the African continent. And by all means, I implore you to ask somebody, right, from anyone you may know from Africa. They don't identify as Africans unless they're speaking to people from America. Most people from America don't recognize that their state in and of itself is identified as a country, and they don't recognize that in Africa, you know, to call a Moroccan an African, to them they're going to feel some kind of way because it's like, no, I'm Moroccan, right? They deal specifically with their country. Ask them, like, are you an African? Oh yeah. And then ask them what is their nationality, and then they will tell you where exactly on the African continent they're from, and they have pride in their country. Okay, you can't. It would be a form of disrespect to imply that because so and so was from the Congo, that he is the same or under the same laws as someone from Burkina Faso, right? They don't get down like that. But in America, the entire continent, right? Each of the independent states of America as sovereign as each state is, they have given up some of their sovereignty, right? As like a transaction, they've given up some. Each state has given up some, so that all of them can enjoy collectively in the sovereignty, right? It's like saying we're back to back fighting, right? I'm not the only one in this war, okay? So they've given up some of the rights in exchange for the privilege of being accepted in the other nation whenever need be. Okay? So now it is we, the people, well, if each state is independent, right, then how are they united? That's the key to catch on to. These states have said, hey, we're acting as one. Your state is your estate. So we, the people of the estates here in America united, act as one. We protect each other from foreign and domestic terrorism. And so when we say we, the people of the United States, that's all 50 states. And all of these states or nations have ordained and established the American law. They say, you know what? Each state has its own constitution, but we've come together as one group and we have produced a universal constitution, a universal agreement. There you go. The Constitution is a binding contract, and there is a contract that is in play between all 50 states, saying that we act as one group. So all 50 states have come together and say, we as one are America. That's what makes America perceived to be a country. Because everyone is in agreement. Everyone is in agreement. Again, Marcus Garvey and Muammar Gaddafi both had the idea to unite all of the states or the countries of Africa because they both understood that together we stand, divided we fall. If all of the people are together as one, it is a strong power, right? All the resources of the whole continent now become beneficial to everyone on that continent. Okay? It says, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. So now each state is a union by itself, but they've come together and they're now acting as each state is acting as a chapter. We'll say, all right. I'm going to use the expression that I'm comfortable with, right? This is the Grand Major Temple, in my religious circle. We have what's called the Grand Major Temple of the Moorish Science Temple of America, right? And so the Grand Major Temple would act in the capacity of America as a whole. Okay? This is the Grand Lodge, so to speak. Okay? And now, because we're using what's called the Lodge system, America has branch or chapter unions within it. There's about 50 of them. In the same way that there were branch temples for the Moorish Science Temple of America. And all of these branch temples are under agreement, which was that constitution that I had of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. And so that constitution brings them all under one umbrella. So all 50 states are under one umbrella called America. All of the temples of the Moorish Science Temple of America are under one system. It's the Grand Major Temple. All right, Drew Ali was showing us in those days how to see things outside. Right, when the time comes, we would be able to apply what we learned inside, outside. I believe the statement is, and out of Sunday school comes the guiders of the nations, so to speak. All right. So now each state would act in the capacity of a branch temple. Okay, or if you're a Mason, whatever, right? You have your Grand Major Temple or Lodge, however, and then you have all of your chapters, right? All of your chapters, they're branches from one tree. Moors like to say, now everybody must worship under their own vine and fig tree. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? The president of America is also the presiding officer. Right? And the presiding officer is they're in they're in office, right? They're representing the entire group, the entire organization, the entire corporation. Know for sure that America is a corporation, and it's been a corporation since 1774. For all of those who, they're corporations. If there is a constitution and bylaw, it's a corporation. It always has been. Anywho, so now, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have the presiding officer, which we call prophet. Prophet means presiding officer of the whole, okay? And then you have governors. Well, what's a governor? A governor is a president of one of the branch temples, okay, of one of the states. Your governor, the governor of your state, is the president of your state, right? We also have sheikh. Sheikh is another term for governor. Sheikh is chief, the president of the United States, and each governor of each state is the chief, the commander in chief of the whole thing, of the entire nation is up here, right? So you also have in my organization, we have grand governor, right? Or you'll have grand sheikh, which just means the principal representative. That's the one who's supposed to speak in behalf of the people. That's someone who has been elected and placed or appointed and put into office to be the voice of the people. This is your representative, right? So you have grand sheiks, or you have governors, sheiks, and then you have assistant. Right? Grand sheiks or grand governors, right? So now how would that represent up here? How would that manifest up here? This becomes your vice president. Well, how does that operate in your state? This is now the assistant grand sheik. All right. This is the individual who, in the event that the president is not able to fulfill their duties and obligations, this individual is to know exactly what the president's role is so that they can assume the role. Okay? And then it goes down and follows as such, right? We have Supreme Court justices, right? You have your judicial branch, all right? Now, each one of the states has their own, but the main one, the one that oversees it all, right, is the Supreme Court. All right. So let me put it in this way. You have the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary branch. Okay. The executive, these are your presidents, governors, sheiks. What do they call them? Worshipful masters, etc. Okay. Now we have the House and the Senate. All right. These are your yes. This is the Grand Council. Yeah. Well. Yes. Let me see. The Grand Sheik and Chairman of the Moorish Sons Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moor. All right. So these two are going to make up. There we go. So the Grand Body consists of the House and the Senate. Okay. In the Constitution of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we're seeing it is unfolding. We're seeing that this is how it's going to play on the outside in the community, right, and abroad. And so we have the Grand Council. I'm trying to think of, the Grand Council, the assistance of the Prophet, and the Grand Body. This is the total sheet, Grand Sheik, Grand Sheik, Assistant Grand Sheik, Chairman. The Chairman is the Speaker of the House. All right. I got off point. So allow me to get back to what I was getting. So that was on my heart, and I had to put that out there. Okay, we're talking about national identity, and we'll just say documents for now. Now, mind you, every station that I made mention of, every individual is a representative of the government, the state, and as a whole. To have yourself, now in the Moorish Science Temple of America, there used to be cards issued, right? And the cards were, they were student ID and membership ID. Okay? So in the Moorish Science Temple of America, when you had this card, the Moorish Science Temple of America also operated as a charter school, right? Teaching its own individuals the laws and the history relative to their situation. So they had these cards, and it said things, I am a Muslim, I am a citizen of the USA, right? It's relating them not only to their national organization or institution, but it's relating them to the whole of America. All right. Now, in those days, which are not these days, they were able to use that ID. Drew Ali, C. Kirkman Bey, they had their nationality cards. And they used their nationality cards to get themselves passports. They used their nationality cards. They went to I would imagine they went to the U.S. Department of State in Illinois, Chicago, right? And they were given their passports by applying and answering up to, and so they were able to do business, right, nationally and internationally. Now, in these days, there are still Moorish Americans running around here with their national ID, with their membership cards, and they are made to believe, and they're being made to believe that those little cards is all that they need for their salvation. They haven't used their national identity cards that was issued by their temple organization to obtain a nationality card to be an American citizen, right? There are peoples in the organizations who think that just because they have that little piece of paper card, that they meet all the requirements of an American citizen. I would love to see, because then I could change my the way I review things. I would love to see one of those brothers or sisters who has that card operate in commerce with that card, and travel nationally and internationally with that card. It's not going to happen because those cards were only showing those people of the day how to operate within that time frame. But this movement is supposed to be adaptable and updatable. And so in time, national identification cards now have what? They have your face on it, right? They have certain information on it that it's not on their national identification cards, right? As well, in these days, after the New Deal, because Drew Ali was preparing the people for what was to come, right? After the New Deal, if you have a passport or a book or card, and it is a national identity document because nationality is written on the card and the book. If you have these documents, you are now, it's scannable, right? It can transact to where these cards before the 1933 deal, you could not transact in this manner. Mind you, I did not get rid of my slave name or my debtor name. I annexed my creditor title to it, right? I answered up and applied to by name and principle to the state constitutional government in which I live. And I received my recognition as a member of Pennsylvania and as a member of the American politic as a whole. The nationality, these are for my Moorish, they may not hear it, whatever. But these are for my Moorish Americans in the temple who really believe that that piece of paper card is going to get them where they go. It's not. You need to get with the times. These are the times of today. These are not the times prior to 1929, 1933. Right? So, what? Boom. There we go. I'm going to speak on some of the things. That was expressed to the Moorish Americans that when they are to once they get their nationality together, right, and they're recognized by the state constitutional government in which they live, right, what goes on? Drew Ellie says, all right, says, I, the prophet, I, the presiding officer, was prepared by the Constitution of America to warn my people to repent from their debtor ways, black Negro status, and go back to that state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles. So that's inherent in constitutionally secured principles, that they will be law abiders. So they will be in law. They will be lawful. They will be lawful and receive their divine rights as citizens. Divine rights as citizens. What are some of the divine rights? Justice, the insurance of domestic tranquility, equity, to provide for the common defense, you're secured, promote the general welfare, your unsecured security, your security agreement instrument that has been issued to you is now secured. You're now a merchant. You're now a lawful merchant. And to secure the blessings of liberty, meaning your time and your labor is not going to someone else. It's going to you and it's going to your state. Right? For ourselves and our posterity, meaning this is a perpetual thing. It's divine. It's everlasting. It's going to continue so long as you don't break camp, if you will. It says, do ordain. So who ordained it? We ordained it. And establish. So who established it? We established it. What did we establish? The United States, all of us, of America. We have one union. Appreciate the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We now have a union. Right? And then it goes into, we have the rules. These are the rules. And when we know the rules, then we can hold those people, those delegates that are representing us. We can hold them accountable. Okay? Now, mind you, this Constitution deals with the entirety. Right? But like in mine specifically, me being a Pennsylvanian, I also have the Pennsylvania Constitution in here, right? And so like I was saying, in the ideology of this being the temple, this is the temple, this is the branch, this is the Morrisons, the Pennsylvania Temple of America, we'll put it that way. Right? And so this is the Constitution and bylaws of my chapter, of my specific nation. And the laws, and how did Jarrelli tell the people that, you can make up laws and whatnot and rituals according to, fashion them according to how you desire, so long as they do not abrogate that which has been proceeded forth, right? And that sounds just like the American Constitution, where it says that anything contrary notwithstanding. You heard? Right? So now, as a Pennsylvanian, man, I'm trying to get my nose out. So this was issued to me. I'm only doing this because I ain't trying to get TikTok to bag me out. You know what I'm saying? Vital Records. This was issued to me by Pennsylvania. And I exchanged it, right? And now you can see Pennsylvania, right? Let me see something real quick, pardon me. All right, I'll get to him in a minute. All right. So, according to the Pennsylvania Constitution, now I'm an active Pennsylvanian and I can enforce and exercise everything in here, right? These are the rules. So according to the hierarchy, I have Governor Josh Shapiro. This would be the Grand Sheikh or the Grand Governor. This is the president. This is the quote unquote prophet. This is the presiding officer in its current state of Pennsylvania. This is the one who, if I need something done, I redress to him. Right? And then he has his whole administration, his cabinet, his faculty, his grand body. Right? And all of these individuals underneath this governor are all citizens of Pennsylvania. Each and every one of them are members of the Pennsylvania organization. Which means that they work for me. They work for me. But if I don't know how things work, I cannot properly employ them. It would the way things are today with the lack of knowledge of national identity and its enforcement, right? The members of each state, they don't know how things work. And so they don't know if they're being violated or not. They don't know. And so things keep happening that they do not benefit them. And they don't, because they don't know any better, they don't go to their city halls and kick up dust. No, they're out in the streets, they're in their homes, they're out in the wilderness complaining. They're complaining instead of making the claim where it needs to go. All right? This is why everyone in the United States of America, in each state at this particular point in time, are being mistreated. Because you basically have, imagine yourself, you are the investor, right? You are the investor of this family business. It was bequeathed to you when you were born. It was bequeathed to you. When you raised up, you were supposed to learn how the family business runs, and you didn't. And that's because the people who were in office didn't tell you, right? And so now you are the investor. You're the shareholder of this business, but you don't know how to run the business. And so now your employees are treating you like you are their servant, instead of them acting like they are your servant, because you do not know how to interact. Most of us don't have business education. We don't understand that this is all business. When Jesus' mother and father found him in the temple, and she yoked him up and was like, "Man, fuck what you doing?" What did he say? Did you not know that I be about my father's what? Business. That's a fraternal order. That's a national organization. This is what he's talking about, right? So when the people are educated, where do you get your education from? Your Constitution. When you read this Constitution, me specifically for Pennsylvania,
right? And then I can transpose it upon the American Constitution, right, to know how everyone is supposed to work, right? When you learn what this means and how this acts, this is a bill, or excuse me, this is what do we call it? Shit. This is a debenture. This is an agreement. This is an agreement. This is an employer to employee agreement. Either you are the employer or you're the employee. When you read this, you find out that you, in your private capacity, right? You are the boss. In your private capacity. Now, mind you, those who are working in the office are in their public capacity. They take orders. They take orders. But if you're not giving them orders, again, that would be like you running McDonald's or something. You're corporate, right? But you don't know enough about your business, and now you got your cashiers telling the boss, the superiors, what to do. It should never work that way. No business is going to last that long that way. Whoever's benefiting from that is benefiting fraudulently, and they have every intention on sinking your ship, on bankrupting your organization, your corporation. When the members of the sovereign states, when the members of the free nations learn their civic duty, let's touch on that. Because that's what that's what the majority of us, we're missing the comprehension on civics. And the Moorish Science Temple of America, they're definitely not civically operating the way they should, because, in all honesty, they're shook up. Which is a problem. It is a problem that this says civil. So, hold on. So if you see me interchanging, right, I have Black's Law first and Black's Law fifth, because some things that are in the first, there are some things that are not in the first, that you can find in the fifth. Civics, HIH. Okay. There we go. What does civic mean? I lost it. Civil. All right, civics. Civics means pertaining to a city or citizen or to citizenship. Who's teaching you about your citizenship other than myself? Who is teaching you your rights and your privileges, your immunities and your obligations? Who is teaching you that? Because that's what civics is about. All right? And in the Moorish Science Temple of America, they love to hoot and holler and tell you that they're teaching you your nationality, right? But they're not teaching you civics, unfortunately. So civics pertains to the city, so you should know how your city operates. You should know about the city's charter, if it has one, right? Because all organizations, all businesses operate off of the same structure. Okay? Who's teaching you about your city or being a citizen or your citizenship? These are the things this is the information that allows you to properly interpret the rules, the laws, rules, ordinances, and regulations of your state, city, municipality, government. You're supposed to be learning this stuff. Again, this civics would be like teaching you civics would be like orientation to business management. We bring you on and we're going to make you a business manager. But before you become that, right, we need to make sure that you know how to do what you need to be done, how things need to be done here. So when you learn your state constitution, you begin to recognize the people's positions, their roles, who is able to do what, who is not able to do what, right? The orders of operations. Prime example, right? A declaration of the rights of the inhabitants of the Commonwealth or state of Pennsylvania. I'm just going to read the first one. These are the rules here. That all men are born equally free and independent, sovereign, and have certain natural, inherent, and inalienable rights. These are the divine rights that Drew Ali was talking about in his movement, amongst which are the enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining happiness and safety. To me, in my ear, that sounds very familiar. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now, this is coming from Pennsylvania, but it does not abrogate the Universal Constitution, right? And just to speak lightly on this subject, this is a debtor, Debtor. This is a debtor personality, okay? And this is a creditor personality, all right? And so, and I have it highlighted here, right? This is in the Pennsylvania Constitution, right? It says the person of a debtor, where there is not a strong presumption of fraud, shall not be continued in prison after delivering up bona fide. This shows that I am a bona fide possessor. After delivering up, I'm now the attorney turning over the defendant all his estate, real and personal, for the use of his creditors, in such manner as shall be hereafter regulated by law. Law is the agreement. The agreement makes the law. All prisoners shall be bailable by sufficient what? By sufficient sureties, right? They out here with the, appearance bonds, bid bonds, right? Payment bonds, right? We talking about sufficient sureties, right? Unless for capital offenses. Now, if you have a capital offense, you're not getting bailed out. And if you have a capital offense and you have one of these, if you have a felony on you, if you have an open felony case, this is restricted. You can't get anywhere until that case is, resolved one way or the other. It says when the proof is evident or presumption is great. So I know that according to my state constitution, that I have inalienable rights. I have what we call inherent and constitutionally secure. So I have divine rights, and I have my debtor person and my creditor personalities. And so I now know, right? I now know that in cases of law, when we're talking about the courts, that I don't have to stand assured. They're not taking my body if I can produce for them the true debtor. And only if the debtor is only if there is guilt. All right? It says justices of the peace shall be elected by who? Okay. Justices of the peace shall be elected by the freeholders. Let's see what that word means. Again, when you go and you get your dictionaries, your law dictionaries, and you look up those words that you don't know to gain understanding, it makes things that much better for yourself, right? Now, mind you, if there are people in your organization that know that you don't know the law, they know that you don't know how things are supposed to be operating, and they know that they're benefiting from their ignorance, they're not going to tell you where to look. So it's on you. Only you can save you. First and foremost, what is the definition of this word? Right? First and foremost, it means unconstrained. me just read it. Having power to follow the dictates of his own soul. It says, not subject to the dominion of another. Not compelled to involuntary servitude. Economic slavery is involuntary servitude. Just wanted to point that out. And it it says not bound to service for a fixed term of years. Look, it said to be free, enjoying full civic rights, available to all citizens alike without charge. Available for public use without charge or toil. Free means not engaged in a war as a belligerent or ally. Right? But now let's get to, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. We find out that the justices of the peace are elected by the freeholders of each city. Well, what is a freeholder? Where did we go? A freeholder is a person. So this is not the human. This is the identity that the human has in the government, right? A person who possesses, so it's a possessor. A freeholder is a possessor. That means that it belongs to you. It's yours, right? A freehold estate. Okay, then the next question. What is a freehold? Because mind you, we just read in the Pennsylvania Constitution, right? Yep. That the freeholders are the ones who elect these justices, these officials, right? And so a freehold is one second, Joe. All right, and we're back. Check, make sure. All right, I appreciate y'all for holding on in there with me. All right. An estate in land or other real property of uncertain duration, meaning either of inheritance or which may possibly last for the life of the tenant, right? A freeholder or freehold means that this is my land. And so it being my land, I'm the one who tells you, hey, you know what? You can, we appoint or elect you to govern this portion of our land. Okay? So, freehold land societies. Societies in England designed for the purpose of enabling mechanics, artisans, and other working men. Okay, no, we're not looking at that. All right. So now let's go back real quick. This says, justices of the peace shall be elected by the freeholders of each city and county respectfully. That is to say, 2 or more persons may be chosen from each ward, township, or district as the law shall hereafter direct. Who's the freeholders? This is evidence of my freeholder status. I'm on record as being one of the people. It's not assumed, it is true. The matter has been expressed in the form of an affidavit, has been unrebutted, and stands as true. You are a freeholder. That means that there's no restriction to it. No one can come and say and claim that which is yours. You're the claimant. Ignorance will not be tolerated. All righty. So let me speak to a very important situation, all right? Let me speak to this real quick because that's what the individual was trying to ramble about. And even though I excommunicated them because I'm the freeholder here, right? I need to explain something to y'all about this here. This does not exist. This does not exist. This doesn't exist. What do you mean? Let me show you. Humanity is the race. Well, hold on. And then what is this whole idea of racism? The truth of this is that it is called classism. Right? It's classism. Where 2 people of equal bias, I'm made of 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons, and so are you. Right? So we're made equal, right? But we'll say that because my skin might be blemished, right? Or maybe I only have 1 arm, right? Because of this difference that really doesn't make a difference, but because of this difference, you've reduced me to a class that is not equal to the class that we both already stand in. Racism is a word for people to use who have childlike cognition. The whole race is human. That's the species. That's the species. We're all human. Me being dark skinned doesn't mean that I'm from anywhere other than Earth. Being pale skinned doesn't mean that you're from anywhere other than Earth. We're all Earthlings in that respect. Racism, when people speak of racism, those who know, when they hear people all caught up in racism, that lets them know that these people are uninformed or ill-informed. They don't know the reality. Classism, or they'll call it caste system or caste system. Oh, you're dark skinned, you're beneath me. Well, isn't the universe that determined your skin complexion the same universe that determined my skin complexion? So who the fuck are you to tell me that I'm lesser than you when the Most High, or whatever you want to call it, thought it wise enough to make us different only in outward appearance. Only in outward appearance. The only difference from me and someone of pale skin is that my skin is dark, their skin is pale. Doesn't mean that we all have the same spirit in us. We all have the same capabilities and capacities and incapacities in us. Right? Everyone can, well, the most of us, we can run, we can jump, we can laugh, we can play, we can love, we can be upset. My skin tone doesn't change that. Your skin tone doesn't change that. Right? So racism is a way to keep the people ignorant and at each other's necks so that they don't realize that the one who gave them racism is really all in their pockets. Okay? I hope that helps you, right? Racism is a negative spellcast used by sorcerers / magis, right? Like magistrates, right? Or quote unquote judges, right? Racism is a negative spellcast used by sorcerers on unsuspecting people. Racism is witchcraft in the negative. You know, witches, wizards, whatever you want to call them, they use words. They use words and symbols and shit to make shit come into reality that wasn't there. So someone gave you this spell, racism, and tried to teach you that the whole human race has like some type of sub-races. That's not true. Okay? We're all human. I would like to think that we all see each other as human. And if you don't see me as one, ain't got shit to do with me. Right? You can't stop me from doing me. Now, if you come and you try to impose me physically and forcefully, you know, to bend to your will, you're attempting to oppress me. And I have the right to drop the world on your head if that's what it is. Right? But anywho, racism does not exist. But if you give your energy to it, there you go. Yeah. What is racism? Racism is what they call a false idol, and it paints a graven, meaning dead, not reality, image. There's your false idol. If you believe that racism exists, you've fallen into this here. This is not what I think. This is what I know. The whole race. And when we're dealing with race and ethnicity, And let me show y'all. This is the race and ethnicity form, right? Right? And we see black and we see white, right? Racism deals with black and white, right? Black is the social classification. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Black is the social classification for non-citizens. White is the social Black is the social classification for non-citizens. White is the social classification for actual citizens. Excuse me, pardon me. So now how do I make this determination? Right? B, what are you talking about? Black means this and white means that. It's all in the verbiage. Okay? I'm gonna show you though, because we get to learn together, you know what I'm saying? So when you see the racial, this says, let me see. You know what? Get yourself the form 181, right? Standard form. So the classification for American Indian or Alaska Native says a person having origins in any of the original peoples. Asian starts off as a person having origins in any of the original peoples. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander says a person having origins in any of the original peoples. And white says a person having origin in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. North Africa. Black or African American says a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. It doesn't pertain to any original people anywhere. This here. It tells you that. All the other ones say a person. Shit. This is a person, a legal identity, having origins in an original person, in an original people. I'm of North African descent. But Black/African American does not have that same quality. Now, again, most of us, shit, if not all of us, at some point growing up, we're taught some form of racial prejudice. But we can now see that in reality, it is national prejudice. It has nothing to do with race. If you call me black, you're saying I'm not human. You're saying I'm not a part of the human race. If you call me black, you are saying you're not a human. That's all it means. That's what it means. You're not human. Because according to the international, this is national and international, right? According to this ethnicity and race identification, any person identified as black, Negro, colored, Ethiopian even, absolutely, are being classified as non-human, not relating to any land in any manner. Come on up. Come on up, and I'll show you, and then you make that determination. Because one, I'm not quite sure what you identify as. Why don't you come on up, family? I'll show you the way. But while we're waiting for you to come on up, I'm gonna write it on the board. Okay. All right. Coolio. Coolio. All right. So I'm going to teach you real quick about. We're going to get real world history. And this is going to tell you, you can choose for yourself after you get this real world history, right? From 7/11 to 1491, right? There was a war over the lands between those who called themselves the Moors. Now, mind you, the Moors weren't just dark-skinned people. Need to make this clear. Just like every other nation, you will see dark skin, pale skin, and all in between. So there was a war between the Moors or the Muslims and the Romans or the Catholics, particularly. This war ended in 1491 in what is today Granada, Spain, right? In which the last stronghold, the last fort that these people who were all around the world helping. I mean, they were fucking up too, but for the most part, they were helping, right? They took this loss, and so this happened in Spain. So in 1491, these people who were now disenfranchised were forced out of Spain back into North Africa. Okay? They were forced into the northwestern and southwestern shores, right? Right? They were just dismantled as a people, right? By 1606, the whole North Shore, right? Whatever. Terrible picture. But the whole, we'll act like this part right here is Europe up here, all right? So they were forced back into Africa. By 1606, the quote-unquote transatlantic slave trade was taking place. And they were taking disenfranchised people across the waters. These people were the Moors. These people were the Jews. And these people were, the Unitarian Christians. The Moors who went up they came from this region. This is North Africa. They came from this region when they went up and around, and then when they got outcasted, they came back down. Okay? So, just with that brief history, we are now going according to the ethnicity. And by the way, you can purchase this book to get this, or you can go to my website link in bio and get this. This is from just so you can see it for yourself, standard form 181, okay? And so Black or African American means person having origins in any Black African racial groups. And white is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North Africa. Black or African American is a person having origins in any of the Black African racial groups. White is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North Africa. Moorish American is our nationality, not just Moor. Everyone is a Moor. When we get into what the word Moor means, it means human. That's what it means. It's another word for human or original human. But we are Moorish Americans. So the Moorish Americans are North Africans. And so their status is white. Now, mind you, it says the original peoples of Europe, they were Muslim. The original peoples of the Middle East, they were Muslim. The original peoples of North Africa, they were Muslim. Well, you don't have to be a Moor, that's fine. You asked me a question. I'm not telling you who you have to be. You can be whatever you wish to be. You could be black. We've got one of those. Okay. You showing yourself. And you're gone. So, that's fine. If you say that you're not Muslim, that's acceptable. It's understandable. The word Muslim, when you take all of that boogie woogie shit out of it, means creditor. So that's fine if you're not a creditor. That's on you. You know, in English, you could say peacemaker. It means the same thing. Are you not are you not? Muslim means equitable owner. It means freeholder. This is what they mean, right? When you take all of that boogie woogie stuff out of it, right? Now, there may be another word in English or according to your religious belief that is synonymous with this word. Okay? The Hindus, well, the Sanata Dharmi, the Dharmist, the Sanatani, a Sanatani is the equivalent of a Muslim. You know, the Christian in its true capacity is the equivalent of a Muslim. You can call yourself whatever you wish to call yourself, family. But you asked me a question. You said you were black. I'm showing you that white. I'm showing you everything that white means. And you're saying you're not it. That's fine, bro. I'm not here to argue with you. Not all Africans are Muslim. You really, you're one of those people. Okay, you're a warlord as well. So you get to go as well. Oh, nope. That's an accident. So sad, man. That's so sad. So you don't have to call yourself Muslim, okay? You can call yourself whatever you wish, but as long as your expression is that of one who is of equal standing, of creditorship, of integrity, right? As long as your standard is that of integrity, then this is applicable. Okay? Okay. We are here in America to live in harmony, happiness, and friendship with all races, regardless of their how did it go? Okay, where's it at? We of the Morris Sons Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill, whatever our race and creed may be. So, whatever your creed is, no one's here to tell you that you have to identify this way. Regardless of how you identify, I have to honor you as a human being, and you have to honor me as a human being. And if no honor is found, the one who is in dishonor has to go. Right? Religious freedoms are open to everyone under the Constitution. So you can come now, mind you, your religious affiliation sets your commercial status. Okay, so Christianity is good for whoever desires to apply it. The Christian doctrine that we know of today identifies all of its adherents as sinners, born black. But if that's what you choose, hey, and we act accordingly, right? It is what it is. Let's get back to the good. A national or state citizen is a freeholder, possessor bona fide, investor, issuer, shareholder. Well, freeholder means sovereign. Uh, white, which means lawful. People. Right? A national or state citizen is a freeholder of the state, a possessor bona fide of the estate, an investor of the estate, an issuer, a shareholder, a lawful, recognizable individual who's a part of the family business. And should be just had up there it is. The citizen. People really be coming over here wanting to. I don't know that. My apologies. Anywho, the citizen is the cross. This is you as a man or a woman. And you have on your left shoulder, you've got your little devil, or you're the one who tells you to do bad things, right? And on your right, you have that angel, right? Or that one who tells you to do good things, okay? This person, this is a person. This is a stateless person. You have this part of yourself. This is your lower self. This is your state citizen. This is your higher self that is supposed to rule over this self. Now, these persons are one. If you're in the wrong, you owe. If you're in the right, you're owed. This is called perfection or wholeness. This is a perfection of a claim. This is a perfected claim. Okay? This is property. This is evidence of your estate. This is an estate in your name. That's what this is. This birth certificate, it is a financial instrument. It is a transmitting utility. It is an estate. It is a legally record. It is a legal record of a personal account. This is your personal account. So this is the property. This is the title. This is the non-living, right? This is that which is out of law. It's not recognized in law. It can't do anything. That's why it's not recognized. It can't do anything for itself. This is the property holder. This is the property. This is the property holder. This is the title. This is the title holder. This is the black. This is the white. This is the status of the defendant who cannot speak, right? This is the minority. This is the one who speaks. This is the one who knows and therefore speaks. This is which is out of law. Law is constitution. This can't make any agreements. This is not an identity for anything that lives. This is an identity on the record. This is this side of the record. This is this side of the account. That's all it is. This is the one that's in law. This is the one who speaks. So if any bad comes out of it, this is the liable party. If any good comes out of it, this is the liable party. This is the equitable owner. But it's both you, all right? And I'm going to give you all a demonstration, right? But I thought you can't operate under both. Not at the same time. Not at the same time. I was just about to get to that. You can't be in the right and in the wrong at the same time. Make sense? The private and the public don't mix. So you can't be showing me your front and showing me your back at the same time. But they are one. You see what I'm saying? So I want to give you this. You like Batman? If you like Batman, give me some love. Oh, y'all done gave me some love already. I appreciate you all. All right, okay. So, my favorite Batman is Michael Keaton. Right? Michael Keaton is an actor, right? That's how you get paid. Right? This is Michael Keaton. Okay? It's all about trust. If you understand trust, you'll see that I'm showing you trust law. This is all about trust. This is exact. In order to have an estate, there has to be a trust. No one can have an estate outside of a trust. It does not work that way. So when you were issued this estate, it was issued to you in the public. And what you're doing when you are of sound mind is you're going back and you're saying, hey, I'm taking this and I'm pledging it as collateral. I would like for this public estate in a public trust to be secured and placed into a private estate in a private trust. The names are the same. This one has a title. This one doesn't. This says Brandon Eugene Davis. This says Brandon Eugene Davis L. Okay? Absolutely. Everything is trust. Come on up. Come on up so that we can speak and I'm not, finding myself having to keep staring at the screen. And you can ask your questions. Please, by all means, come on up. If y'all are going to ask questions and you desire to have your questions answered, you have to come up. If you don't come up, I'm not going to answer your questions and I'm going to keep with the class. Okay, so you don't wish to come up? Tion's Creations, you don't wish to come up? Come on in, baby boy. I've sent you the request. Come in. I thought you was coming up to give me some love.
Islam.
Love right back to you.
Grand Rising.
I'm sorry, hold on. Let me see. I couldn't even hear you just now. Peaceful greetings. Iman?
Yes.
Okay, peaceful greetings. I can hear you now.
Greetings. Peaceful greetings. Return.
What would you like to know? What would you like to ask the class?
I'm also learning, relearning things because, like everyone else, a lot of things has been in like a state of confusion. So some I've been learning prior, but I'm relearning now so I can stand 10 toes down.
Absolutely. Let's make it a thing. Tell me what it is how can I assist you, beloved?
Some of the things that you went over earlier, I took note of. I'm understanding more because in the last few days, I've gotten a lot of Moors, and we are Moroccans on the
Yeah,
land, so I'm learning how to conduct myself accordingly as righteous woman or as a righteous man on the land. That's my whole goal, my whole attempt.
mm-hmm.
And I'm also wanting to learn law efficiently so that I can move about without encumberment. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's it for me at the present.
So I want to let you know that the way that I bring the more science is not like anyone that you're talking to, that you said in your past, because I've taken all the bullshit out of it. I've taken all of the hate out of it, right? America is not our land by itself. America is the land that belongs to all of humanity. And the Moors have estates in the land, just like all other nations have estates in the land. That is the teaching that Brother Noble Jew Ali was showing the people, that we have just as much right and claim to the American estates as others. America is not Morocco. America is not Moorish America. Excuse me. And America is land of the Moors, but all human beings are Moors. I hope that that could help you or assist you in some way.
Yes, I've over the years I have been studious to the best of my capability. So I'm just trying to add on because in recent and over the years, I've been going back over the Constitution and looking at specific articles in law and and the people on the land that are conducting genocide through paper genocide in the courtrooms. So I'm wanting to understand that well enough so when I create a document, because everything is in post, right? Through the mail, the post
Mm-hmm.
office, not the US Postal Service.
So let me just real quick. I'm what I'm hearing, certain phrases, certain terms that I'm hearing from yourself. I am going to at this moment, because I love you without even knowing you, you're myself. I'm going to let you know that what I'm hearing, the way that you're saying it, right? It's going to lead you into a dead end.
And what now?
The post office and the postal service. I've heard Moorish Americans and patriots alike expressing, you know, well, it's not the postal service, it's the post office, right? And what they're missing is that it operates in the private and the public. And in the private, it's the post office. And in
Right,
the public,
correctly. And
it's
that's
the
where I was
postal service.
going with it. That's
Okay,
where I was
okay,
going with it.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it.
Yeah, there's brothers and sisters out there who they take these things and they, I don't even know what to call it, but it causes confusion. You know, it causes a distraction because it's so much information that takes you so far over that way that you lose sight of what really needs to be uh,
Exactly.
focused on.
I'm overstanding because what I'm realizing that the post office is really conducting the true law as far as the travel and the passage of mail, whereas the US Postal Service is the registered agent purporting to be similar to the post office.
Well, they are one. They operate in their own specific. That's what I was showing
Right.
here.
right there.
They can't act as one at the same time.
Exactly.
But depending on how you're going at it, it's going to either operate as the postal service
Mm-hmm.
or the post office,
Exactly.
depending on yourself. Absolutely.
Okay.
What do we talk about here? Authentication. That's not necessary unless you're doing business in a place that does not use the UCCs. For those of you putting that in the room, the authentication and whatnot, I actually have an authenticated birth certificate. I speak of things that I've done. I don't speak of things that I think. And so I'm letting y'all know I've done that process. And then upon further research, I realized that, it's not a bad process to do. But people are telling you to do these processes and they're not meant to work the way that they're telling you to do it, which is why you do it. And then they're like, okay, well now get this information and then let's get this information. And you find yourself paying these people out of your pocket to get all of this information, but it's never really utilizable because it's never meant to be used the way that they're trying to teach you how to use it.
Mm.
Hey, he said,
How are we? I know you have up on the board the Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I was about to get to that.
Okay.
I was about to reveal everything is Trinity, right? Someone was talking about trust law. Trust law is always dealing with three aspects.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I was going to show people it's all an act. Right? Michael Keaton is the cross. This is you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is your true self. And then inside over here, if you know accounting, this is the debtor side, right? And this is the creditor side. And the equation is that debits must always equal credits, right?
Okay, so question. So literally the cross that you have up is similar to in accounting it's called
That's exactly what this is. Absolutely.
table.
That's exactly what we're doing. Jesus told us that we are to pick up our cross and take an account.
Yes, of course.
You see it, right?
Yes. But
All
it's
right.
called I forgot, it's called a specific name, a something table, and right now I can't get the first part of it.
I mean, this is in a ledger. This is an account ledger. This is
Account
the
ledger,
balance.
yes, an
This
account
is the
ledger.
balance sheet.
Mm-hmm.
We're showing the balance sheet at the end. It should balance out, right?
Yes.
So Michael Keaton, let's say I'm Michael Keaton, right? Or you are Michael Keaton. This is the T. The T stands for truth, right here. This is the true self, right? And then in the more science, we learn that we have two selves. We have, this is you, but you also have two, right? And so,
did you say CELLS or SHELVS?
SELVES.
Okay, all right.
Selves. All right, so Michael Keaton plays Bruce Wayne. But he also plays Batman. Michael Keaton is Bruce Wayne and Batman. But Batman is not Michael Keaton. Bruce Wayne is not Michael Keaton. These are his selves or his personalities.
Okay. His persons.
Right. Right. So Bruce Wayne is in the public.
Okay.
Batman is in the private.
Okay.
So Bruce Wayne is unsecured. He's only secured when he's Batman.
Okay. And then would you go into I'm overstanding just a little bit about secured and unsecured, if you can express it later.
I will express it later.
Or elaborate on it.
I sure will. Briefly, I would like to speak with Hollywood. What it do, family?
Peace, brother.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
may I assist you, bro?
I was about to ask the question earlier, but you kind of answered it. I still got a couple more, but right now you kind of speaking. I don't really want to interrupt you because I'm taking notes. But the
Word.
question was about that authentication because I was about to do that. Then I just met a dude not too long ago, and he was speaking on the same thing you were speaking on. He said you don't need to authenticate that because it takes you away from
Right.
from
So
the actual public, and you're like being your own government.
just to show y'all, because I tell you, I work off of what I know, what I've done, right? State and federal, right? So the purpose of authenticating and or even apostilling
Mm-hmm.
is for the purpose of doing business in a country that does not follow the UCC.
Mm.
Taiwan does not follow the UCC. And so they need to you need to validate or verify or authenticate this financial instrument because this is a security. If you're going to do business over there, you're like, I got $1 million over here. They're like, nigga, let me see it. We don't even use dollars, but let me see it. Authenticating is showing them the bag. I got it. Right? Now, if you go somewhere where they are with the UCC, you don't have to authenticate it. It's self-authenticated because it's under the uniform business practices or financial transactional practices.
Mm.
So there's no, you have people who are shopping certain procedures knowing that the individual they're shopping it to doesn't know what's going on. And so it's like, oh yeah, everybody's coming from a place of scarcity and fear, right? And so these individuals shopping you this information, they're feeding on that. They're like, here, do this, and then you do it, right? And then they're like, okay, now you do this. Okay, now you do that. You find yourself doing all of this stuff and you never freed yourself. All you did was put money in that individual's pocket. And most of us doing all of this stuff don't even sit back for a moment and think to ask, yo, show me yours.
Right.
Show me evidence that what you're teaching me is something you've done, and show me evidence that it works. I'm showing y'all evidence, right? And if you look on my, my TikTok page, I haven't even made mention of it, but I work under my passport, not under the social, right? I don't pay federal taxes. Federal taxes are not taken out. I didn't do any changing forms or anything. It just happened, which shows me that this is the federal employee. This is the state employee.
Mm.
This is the sovereign or the freeholder. So no, I'm not dealing with any federal restrictions. So I'm actually dealing with the courts right now. And the prosecutor is going to have a hard time because the police officer wrote me up under this name, but in his report, he's showing you this name, he's showing you this ID.
Mm.
So they're showing that it's a fraud.
Mm.
It's fraud.
So the passport is under
Batman.
right, but I'm saying if the birth certificate is a federal employee, the passport is what?
Right.
State. Okay.
The state citizen, the citizen of the state. So, all right. This is a United States stateless person.
Mm-hmm.
And because it does not operate in any state capacity, it is foreign to the state and is administrated by the federal government.
Correct.
But you have to make the dead living. So now I'm under the state. I have the sovereignty that's in the state is now here. Now I can operate in either one. If I've done wrong and it comes out that I've done wrong, this is the debtor. This is the charging instrument. They're going to charge.
Oh, okay.
They can't charge this instrument. You see what I'm saying? But if you do wrong, because this was made off of this, right? There was a Moorish couple who were. I showed the sister. The sister, she got her passport, right? And the brother hadn't. The brother was running around, not running around. I don't want it to say it that way, but so the sister had guns in her name prior to her getting her passport, right? And her husband has a prior record. You know, he's not a person not to have blah 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 with guns. And he felt like, hey, you know what? I have a right to bear arms, blah blah blah. They're out in the world, stem their babies, their children. They're at a store, a restaurant, and the brother, now mind you, he's got the gun on his hip and it's in his pocket. It's not in a holster. It's literally in his pocket, and it's not his. Right? Now, he doesn't have it like he's trying to stick anybody up. In his mind, it's for protection. Anyway, he goes to the cash register and he's using this AA222141 information, which I tell you, get that shit out your mind unless you're a part of that organization. Anyway, he's arguing with the restaurant manager, like, hey man, you know, this is a tax exempt sale, blah 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 blah. The manager feeling threatened. Right? Because it's not like he could just get this, you know, get that information. I know when I get my tax exemption, they hit the little scanner and it reads tax exempt, right? So the manager was feeling some kind of way, you know, because they're issuing, he's trying to show him his card. You know, it doesn't have the flag of America on it at all. Right? And so the manager's just like, hey, look, you know, he ends up calling the police because, you know, he just doesn't know what's going on here. Right? And by the time the police had came, they had figured some things out, but the police had already come. And so the police, you know, they were, you know, as a matter of fact, they reviewed their body cam, and a day or two later, they ran down on the brother's home because they had seen that he had this piece on him. And because that stuff was all in her name, she was charged as well. So that's to show you that you can still be charged here, right? But if you're in the right, it's not going to matter. So throughout the duration of the proceedings, until she was found to be not guilty, her movement was restricted. But when all things came out, her husband had to bite that bullet. Right? And she lost her guns. They made her sell it because she didn't know what to do. Right? But what I'm saying is, if you have a felony, right, that's the only way you can be restricted in your movement, is if you have a capital offense on you. All right. How can anyone get knowledge if everyone is talking? Not quite sure what they're talking about. I don't pay federal taxes either, but it's a national, and I didn't obtain my passport yet. That's what's up, family. I tell the people how you did it, you know? I'm just following Noble Drew Ali. I ain't knocking nobody. But anywho, this is just showing that, you know, that's showing integrity, right? Because this was based off of her birth certificate, right? They were able to run the information and access her debtor, right? Because this is being honorable. You have two selves, right? And unfortunately, because her husband did what he did, they held her accountable. Now, Again, they found most of us who are aware of how the policy enforcers overcharge people, right? Just so that they have something that kind of holds you until the DA picks it apart and says no, right? So they had their foot on her neck because of him. They overcharged her and they overcharged him. They charged her with, they tried to say that she was buying guns for someone who is a known felon, ex-felon, and did not have the right, to hold the gun. Now she's telling me, like, yo, because I know her husband. She's like, listen, I know she didn't buy those guns for him. And I know that, as his wife, she told him she was not comfortable with him walking around with that piece on him. But as her husband and him being caught up in that moment, right, of feeling as though I have the right to X, right, he put it on his waist anyway. And so that caused an issue for the both of them. Now, in the end, everything was dismissed against her. He had charges. He got found guilty, but he understood and he got that sentence reduced, right? Because he's studying law. But he found himself stuck because it's like, yo, you didn't have that wasn't your gun. So what that it's your wife's gun? It wasn't your gun. And because his person or his status, right? Because his person was not corrected or made whole, all they worked with was the birth certificate identity. Because he wanted around there with them RV Bay Pass identity cards that does not link you to any government or any state anywhere. Anywhere.
Would you repeat that again? Something not attaching you to the state?
When any individual purchases an allodial, here, let me write this down. Any ID that has this on it,
Oh, I've seen that number before.
this is not affiliated with any private or public government. This is a number designated for members of a particular social club that is not in alignment with Noble Drew Ali whatsoever. And if you check my YouTube channel, link in bio, you'll see that I put a whole dissertation on it. But when you see this AA 2221 for one, I can guarantee you that what you will never see is the American flag.
So are you saying if you see that number, the American flag should not be associated with it?
No, what I'm saying is when you see this number, the individuals who are using this number are telling you off rip they're not Americans. But they're saying they're Americans.
Okay.
But this belongs to a black Negro Mason Eastern Star Native American organization posing as a Moorish American nation.
Okay.
Posing. Because it actually opposes that which are you familiar with Drew Ali?
A little bit, not fully, but I have a little.
So the brother Noble Drew Ali is the found. You know how they say George Washington is one of the founding fathers of Virginia. Cool.
Right. He's the founder of the
Moorish American nation.
Moorish American nation, yes.
Right. And so if it wasn't for Noble Drew Ali, there'd be nobody running around here talking about their American indigenes, aborigines, or Moors of any kind. He was the one who let the cat out the bag. Mm-hmm. Before Noble Drew Ali, everyone of dark skin thought they were from Africa.
Exactly.
Okay? And once he dropped that jewel, you have all these people coming out the woodwork. I'm an American, I'm an Amerindian, I'm a Moor, blah, 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 and all that extra dumbass shit. And they give no honors to the brother. And they form their own movements, which is fine. right? But if you're calling yourself a Moorish American and you're not following the right designations, you're muddying the waters, and you're
That's
making it.
commingling, right? That's
Yeah,
commingling.
yeah, absolutely, right? Or what we say is they're using foreign doctrine. They're trying to add foreign doctrine with the original doctrine that already came. Okay, and so it's like, it's basically doing bad business. Basically, is what it is. All right, so there are people out here using it. I've seen some Hebrew Israelite IDs, right? They're all using this. This was a registration number in the Library of Congress for Charles Mosley Bay's order, his fraternal or national
Oh yeah,
organization.
I did some reading a while back on Charles Mosley Bay.
Yeah, he's a sucker to me. But anywho, so this can also be used as an EIN. I know this because I've done this, okay? Because I used to be a part of this information until I did further studies and realized you're not even supposed to be using this if you're not a part of that organization. So people like Taj Tariq Bey, Raz Mariah Bey, and all these other individuals, they've taken this information. They're not a part of the order. But they've given it to everybody. Here, use it. It's yours. That's illegal. That's unlawful. That's fraudulent.
Okay.
That's fraudulent. And I actually have, and some people also have the preamble and the divine constitution that goes with this information. And when you read it, it tells you, there's a whole warning that tells you that this is not to be used unless you're a member.
Mm-hmm.
There are people running around with this number. They're not members of any of it. Okay? Now this number is the equivalent of the Social Security number, which is just an EIN as a sole proprietorship, and your own passport number, which is an EIN of a corporation.
Oh, the passport number is also an EIN?
Fucking right.
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying. I'm employed under my passport using the name on the passport and the 9-digit number on the passport. And when I got my little income tax statement or whatever, right, it showed me that there were no federal taxes being taken out whatsoever, because this protects this. That's why I was saying, on one side you got Bruce Wayne, and he's in the public, and then you've got Batman. Everyone knows Bruce Wayne, but nobody knows Batman. But they're both the same. And then it's Michael Keaton, right? But that was the demonstration that I was going to give. So I also know, because I do it. I go to certain stores and I have tax exempt status, right? I'll get to the register, right? And I'll be like, this is a tax exempt sale. And I'll give them the passport, or I'll read the number. They type the number in, and then we're good to go. I don't have to argue with anybody. I don't have to say, let me speak to your supervisor. I don't have to raise a stink. I used to do these things with that AA 222141. I used to raise a stink because I knew that it worked. And it's like, why? I thought that they were being disrespectful to me, but then I realized, like they don't have anything that says USA on it. So they don't recognize it. There are certain groups like RV Bay who issue these, who tell you you shouldn't have a barcode. Why not? I'm a part of the USA. That's how they register. This is all about business.
Oh, yes.
Jesus said, I'm about my Father's business. So we talk about corporate, family,
Business, yes.
Right. So again, I know that I could go to certain places and And then if they act like, you'll find yourself in some places to be like, yeah, well, we need some piece of paper from the state, saying that you have an exemption. I'm not going through all of that. I just won't buy your stuff. I'll go somewhere else. Right? Or you got to fill out this paper. All right, let me fill out that paper. I fill out that paper. I put this information in there. It's all about business. Absolutely.
Okay.
Right? So people using this are doing bad business. Ask yourself, right? If the social security number is an EIN for a business and you were issued one, what does it mean if someone's out there using it and it ain't yours? It's identity theft.
Yes.
So there are people running around here not even acting as if, but acting as if they are members of this social club. They are using the credentials of someone's social club and they are not verified members of the organization. That's fraud. But
so that means to be a member of the organization, you have to become part of that organization.
Right. There's actually a let me see if I can find it while we're talking. Oh, pardon me. There's actually in the in the paperwork. I think I might have threw that away too. That's a bummer. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I might have already tossed that info because I was done with it. Yeah, but so there's like there's a membership paper, right? And it tells you that you have to be a member in order to use this information. And these people aren't even members. They're not members. There's people out there right now using the AA 2221 for one and know nothing about the organization from which it comes from. Because people are just selling other people information, and these people aren't doing their own due diligence, right? They're like I said, they're coming from scarcity and fear, and all these people are really trying to do is free themselves, and they're saying that some things are working, and so they're like, let me go try that.
Right.
But they don't realize that they're injuring themselves, and then they get caught up on the roads, right? Or they get caught up in the world, and they get to saying all these things that they heard someone tell them to say, and then they get identified as what? Sovereign citizens.
Well, literally, when they say sovereign citizen, they're trying to attach a citizenship to a sovereign man, which you can't do both. You have to be either straight sovereign or a citizen.
So let me explain. I got you on that too, right? Because and don't misquote me, people. Sovereign citizenship in its purity is not a bad idea. When you understand how it's supposed to be applied. Now, I'm not saying to call yourself one at all. It's not what I'm saying. All right. We know that sovereignty resides with the people. And we should know that the people and the state are indivisible. So when someone says they're sovereign citizen, what they are in the beginning of its application before people hijacked it and went sideways with it, they were expressing sovereign state citizen. To be a sovereign and to be a citizen, you have to be a part of the state. But you have people who've taken this, right, and for whatever reason, You know, they don't want to be a part of the state, right? They don't want to be an American, but they want to be a national. But a national is a citizen. Anywho,
What did you have under sovereign state before
citizen,
you're
citizen.
citizen? Okay.
So
Okay, go put your toys.
So the application of sovereign citizenship, which is a real thing, right? And the people knocking it down to sovereign citizen in its beginning, the understanding was supposed to be that the citizen and the sovereign and the state are one. And so when they would say sovereign citizen, the implication was sovereign state citizen. But you, like I said, there's people who've taken this and they ran with it and they took out the state and they're telling you that they're not a part of any state because the state is a corporate, right? And so now we have this sovereign citizen stuff where people are anti-government. The sovereign state citizen is not anti-government. They're pro-government. They're anti-tyrannical government. That was the key. But now you have these people running around talking about, they're giving you the impression that the state in and of itself is tyrannical. Well, if it's tyrannical, then you have to be the one in the state to change it. You can't change it from the outside. Sovereign citizens are outside of the law. But there is a thing called sovereign citizenship, right? Which is talking about free national citizenship, freehold citizenship. So Drew Ali, way back in the 1920s, I guess this was a foresight. He already gave us the right appropriate phrase. He gave us the phrase or term free national citizen. Free, we just read free means without restraint. Well, that's what sovereign means. National, that's the group. That's the organization. That's the state. Citizenship means that you are an individual in the city. You're civically in full life. I'm a free national citizen. I never had to say sovereign state citizen or sovereign citizen. I never had to say it.
Yeah, I've never used it on myself. I'm just a woman.
Right. I'm a citizen. The people are citizens. And man and woman, they are people. People is singular and plural. So I am a people. And I agree to the terms and conditions of the family business to be recognized as a citizen. A citizen is a member. Member of the nation. Member of the family. And then I'm free, meaning that I'm able to speak freely. I'm a free inhabitant. I'm freeborn, freeholder. Free national citizen means that you're not a child in the mind. A child is not free until they know how to do what they need to do. Then they can go out into the world freely and do their business, knowing what they need to know. So I say free. When I filled out my DS-11 form, which is the passport form, I also affixed to it, with it, an affidavit, right? A declaration, a national declaration of allegiance, in which I let it be known that I was pledging this person as collateral, because I know what it is, in order to answer up and apply and receive recognition so that my divine rights would be restored. I now have the power to redeem. to revenue. Again, we talking accounting.
Mm.
But
You know what
this
I thought
soul
about the
salvation,
other day?
huh?
And I was looking at words. When I saw the word avenue, I saw a venue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And revenue, revenue.
Yes.
So we're going to take it from one, and to revenue is to redeem. It's to, remember, debits and credits equal out. So if I have a transaction that's charged on this side, in order to get discharged, it has to be turned over. So the debited account, there has to be an account that was credited. That's the revenue. You flipped it. And so now, instead of it being cash, right, or notes, it's credit. Credit is unlimited. And so
Yes.
it's giving you are giving it a new value. That's why you're revenuing it. You're giving it an
Ah, that
equal
makes sense.
value on another plane. An example is, let's say you and us three on the panel, right? We have a house that's worth 200 grand. And for whatever reason, someone came up and said this was their house, and we find ourselves in court, right? And they've repoed the house, right? So us three, we out here in the world doing whatever we got to do to keep things going, right? And then throughout the process, right, the judicial termination comes in that we own the house, right? But throughout that whole deliberation, the people sold the house. They can't give us the house. They have to revenue. Let me get that 200 grand.
Mm.
Because you have to give me something of equal value. That's the revenuing. The revenuing is the transaction. When you revenue, you complete the transaction. Let me write that down. The question that was asked. What did I write? The heading was National Declaration of Allegiance. That was my heading because this is a motherfucking affidavit, pardon so. Right?
Okay.
And with an affidavit, you're not asking for anything. You're stating a matter of truth. I guess it would be an explanatory statement, absolutely. You're telling them what you desire for them to know. Right? I put, I am a Muslim, which means already that I'm a white creditor.
I can't
Already.
read the A word on there.
This?
Yeah.
Allegiance, allegiance. Like I'm pledging allegiance, which is what I did. I pledged this collateral, this, to show my allegiance to the states. Like, hey, I'm giving you this, and then they're giving me a person that's secure.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
And what's under the allegiance?
I am a Muslim.
Okay.
So your religion sets your commercial status. Because religion, so in it, your religion is your way of life. That is your economic view. It deals with everything in your life. And since we're talking trusts, estates, wills, and testaments, then your religion sets the matter of which your trust is administered.
Now,
I-
didn't they use the word Muslim at one time as an acronym?
Yeah, but I don't get into all of that. Because,
Okay.
yeah, this is what I mean. I'm taking all of that confusing shit out of it.
Get out. Okay. Makes sense. I just
Right.
asked the question. Yeah, I
No
don't want to
doubt.
get into it. It's just a question.
No
It's just a
doubt.
thought.
Like I've already told people that the word MOSLEM and the word MUSLIM, they're the same. But you have people who will try to argue that it's different. It's the
Okay.
same. It's the same. Different dialects, and one is Americanized. MOSLEM is Americanized Muslim, not Muslim, but Muslim. Because you have people who will argue it's Muslim. No, the fuck it's not. If we spell C.M. Bay's name Mosley, for those of you who are aware, I'm gonna erase it off the board just to show you. Mosley. Mosley. Muslim. It's not Muslim. Doesn't change.
Mm-hmm. What do you have in the parentheses on in above?
Well, I was showing that the word Muslim in commerce, it means that you have white status.
Okay.
All right. And white status is pure, it's possessor status, it's freeholder status. So I'm declaring that I am the freeholder. That's what Muslim means.
Owner of the land.
In commerce, right. I said my nationality is Moorish American. What does that mean? That means that of the Muslim Moorish estates in America, I'm a part of that. Under Islam, in the Islamic culture, you identify your religion before your nation, right?
Okay.
So I'm Muslim American.
Muslim American. Okay.
Moorish American. Thank you. So I'm Moorish American, right? I'm a Moorish American. I'm a Pennsylvanian American of Moorish descent. So I'm a Muslim Pennsylvanian American, right? When Drew Ali was giving it to the people, he had to break it down into tidbits for them to get it.
So basically, if you're from a particular state, you would add on either the an NITE or an IAN at the end of the name of that state. Like some people say they are, like people from Wisconsin say they're Wisconsinites.
Okay, so yeah, so in Pennsylvania, I'm a Pennsylvanian, not a Pennsylvanian. Right. But the Wisconsin, they say Wisconsinite. Like Michigan, they're Michiganders. New York, they're New Yorkers.
Right.
Illinoisan.
Yes, right? Illinoisan, right.
All right. Then I put my religion is Islamism. And so just with this right here, I done told them I'm accredited, and this is how all my trust in the states will transact. My religion is my commercial capacity and incapacities. Now, under Islam, everyone is born free and equal and without debt. So again, all of this is referencing the fact that I'm not a debtor. All right. And the Mohammedan, that's another way to say Mohammedanism. A Mohammedan is one who is praiseworthy or trustworthy or honor or an integrity, a person of integrity. And so again, they're not a debtor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just for room, the next statement was my presiding officer is Noble Drew Ali. So that would be like me saying my governor is so and so and so. So it's making a recognition that I'm a part of the order and I know who is the representative who brought it in. This is my founder. This is me saying, as a Virginian, that my founding father is George Washington. Okay? I put my religious affidavit of organization has been filed at Cook County Recorder's Office Form 1099, file number 10-10-5905. Hold on. My apologies. Hold on. Recorder's Office, Chicago, Illinois.
What's after Cook County?
Recorder's Office. So Noble Drew Ali found he already had his organization as a civic organization, which was teaching us how to be citizens and freeholders of the land, right? And then he filed an affidavit. Now, like what we just said, an affidavit ain't asking the motherfucker nothing. It's asserting. And so he's asserting our religious authority, which is called ecclesiastical authority or jurisdiction. So he's asserting our commercial jurisdiction to do business, right? My religious affidavit of organization has been filed at Cook County Recorder's Office, Chicago, Illinois, Form 1099, file number 10-10-5905. This number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is like that AA 222141 or whatever. This is the EIN for the organization, for the corporation.
I'm trying to make, okay, thank you. I've seen that number in the past, but I never know what it was about.
Most people didn't. When I first saw it, I didn't know either. That's just being real with you, you know. And again, if you go to my when all of this is over, I'm going to put all of this on my TikTok, not my TikTok, on my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio, right? It's thank you for the love. And so if if you miss any part of this, right, you'll be able to recap and see it, right?
Yeah, that is
I also offer
cool.
services where I help people, but I feel like why not give it away for free right now? You know what I mean?
It seems like I've seen you in the past before, prior.
Possible.
I've been so many places.
Okay. Did y'all get that?
Yes.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So mind
So
you,
that number, is that number equal to is that number also equal to the AA number or not?
yes. So
Okay.
the AA 222141 is a registration number for that particular organization. And it sets its commercial jurisdiction. And then the 10-10-5905 was created before that other one. That other one was created later, and the person who did it, being funny, did it on the same date. But whatever, right? It is also equivalent to the 8-digit. Let me see, is it still 8 or is it 9 now? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. So it's 9 digits today, but it would have been 8 digits before. Just to show y'all real quick. If you have an old number, an old registration number that is only 8 digits long, and you're those who understand business and know that nowadays we use 9 numbers, you would add a 0 to the beginning. Just something to show you.
Okay.
All right, the next line. All members of the order are required to wear fez, turban, what was it called? Yeah, neem, niqab. And I'll explain these in a minute. Feather crown, crescent, moon, and star.
Okay. I'm trying to read.
I got you. Logo circle 7.
Oh yes, I printed that out prior, but I don't have it. I don't have it on myself, but I remember seeing that it's a circle, but it has 4 openings like a cross in the middle of it. And yeah,
Something
with
to
the
that
7 in
effect.
the middle. Yes.
Right. So that's the cross. That's Michael Keaton, Batman, and Bruce Wayne. That's you.
Oh,
All
okay,
in itself.
okay. So I'm trying to write down what you have, but I can't see it. Thank you.
Says all members of the order are required to wear the fez, which is the fez of the Moors, the turban, which is the turban of the Sultan, the neem, which is the headdress of the pharaoh, the niqab, which is the covering of the Muslim woman.
Okay,
The feather
so
crown, huh?
okay, I'm trying to write the names of what you have on there. How do you spell that one again?
Which one?
Okay, okay. So I have the fez, but I couldn't see it to write it down.
FEZ.
Okay, and I got turban.
You know what? If you send me a message in my messenger box, I will, when I get done with this, I will give you my phone number, and I will personally walk you through this.
Okay, I have meat. I have meat.
That all
But
right?
I'm still
That's
learning. I'm
fine.
still learning how to do TikTok. So how does one do a DM?
You gotta click his.
You would go to my profile, and it would have the little sideways arrow,
Mm-hmm.
and you would click that. That's where the messages is, and then you would, give me that information.
Okay.
Look, everybody say, okay, I'll DM you. Indeed. But this is because I don't, if we go over every individual thing and I'm having you write them down, we're going to be here a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'll assist you. I actually have it written up. So send me your email.
Can I put it in here?
I would appreciate it if you.
Okay. I'll do a DM.
Yes.
I'll figure it out.
Please, because we don't want you putting your information out and then some weirdo get to sending you all kinds of messages just because.
Yeah, I know. I got to be very careful.
Absolutely. All right. So all members of the order are required to wear fez, the fez of the Moors, turban, the turban of the Sultan, neem, the headdress of the Pharaoh, niqab, the face covering of the Muslim woman or of the Moroccan princess, if you will, feather crown, what they call the Indian feather crown. We wear those as well. The crescent, moon, and star. which is a symbol of Islam, which is really the sun, moon, and star. But most people don't catch that, regardless, because it's a trinity. The logo circle 7.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
And all things Moorish. So the reason why this statement is being made is because when you go and you're going to get your picture taken, right? I have on a turban right now. We can call it that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to tell you, same thing with your glasses, right? They're going to tell you you can't wear a hat.
Exactly.
Right? And so you have to learn that you're exercising your religious freedoms. And so you're telling them, this is my religious and national headdress. It's not a hat. They can't deny you, right? In the same way as, well, sorry, you can't wear those glasses. These are prescription. Oh, okay. So they're making sure you're not wearing just any non-national, just whatever the fuck. I can't wear a baseball cap and sunglasses. But because I'm wearing this is going to identify me with some living culture. And these, I mean, shit, I need to see.
Exactly.
These are not just for good look, right?
Not for
And all
fashion.
things Moorish. So you're letting them know that anything that you may have on that's of Moorish descent or that is of Muslim descent, right? You might wish to wear, the men might wish to wear what's called the shemagh, right? You see Arabs wear it, right?
Yes.
And hold on, I'll show you. Hold on.
I've seen it.
Right, but this is for everybody, love. This is for everybody. Shemagh, okay? Moorish means Muslim. Does not mean Moroccan in and of itself. It means
Oh,
Muslim.
Muslim. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
Muslim means creditor.
at one time, did they call it Mohammedan?
Yes.
Okay.
Mohammedan. So the word Muhammad means one who is of the praiseworthy status. That's what it breaks down into. The word. And so I'm a Mohammedan. So again, I'm a creditor. I'm an honorable businessman. Business mind, whatever, right? So all things Muslim, right? Now I'm gonna let y'all know, my butt hurts some people. You can't be black. You can't identify as a black anything and identify as a Muslim anything. Because black means not living. White means full life. Just letting y'all know, for those black Muslims out there, don't, unfortunately, they're not Muslims. In the sense that creditors. Anywho, the next statement. This is the phrase that pays. I am a free national citizen of this free national government. I am a free national citizen of this free national government of the United States of America. Now, when I write this on my passport, on my affidavit, when I say of this free national government, I'm relating to Pennsylvania. How do we know that? Because the U.S. Department of State that I'm transacting with covers Pennsylvania. When you write this free national government, it's already going to be understood that it's talking about the state in which you live, right? So now just real quick, where did I get this phrase from? Because I tell everybody I got this from Noble Drew Ali. Just so that y'all can hear it and know it, you know what I mean?
It's incredible that you say that because I found that word Pennsylvania twice in the Bible.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
I read it a while ago, and I was blown, so to speak. My wig was blown back, or my hair was blown back when I saw the word Pennsylvania in the Bible. It's in scripture.
Yeah, I would love for you to share that with me at some point. All right. So here we go. Hold on. Yes, okay. So I got this whole phrase through reading and understanding. I'm glad that I found you too, Timothy. Absolutely. It's from a newspaper article called "A Prophet Makes Plea to a Nation." Right? The prophet makes a plea to nation. He says, "Our divine and national movement stands for the specific grand principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice," which, by the way, when you read the U.S. Constitution preamble, "We the people of the United States," it's talking about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So he's telling you. But anywho, he says, "And I, the prophet, am applying to all loyal, faithful Moors, members, and the American citizens to help me in my great uplifting acts of uplifting fallen humanity among the Asiatic race and nation. For I have suffered much and severely in the past through misunderstanding of what the movement was dedicated to." And I want to just go and point out that he says that a prophet makes a plea to nation, and he included everybody in the temple and out of the temple as the nation. I just need people to key in on that.
Also, that's literally like in Jeremiah 1:5.
Hold on, love. Let me get through this, please. "It is the great God of law," that's the Constitution, "alone that guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. I know all true Americans are identified by national descent names," that would be your state name as well, "to answer and apply to the free national Constitution of this free national Republic of the United States of America." So I'm a free national citizen of this free national Republic. Ooh, that's why I screwed up. This is where I got the phrase, "I am a free national citizen of this free national Republic." Right? Let me just start from that last part. He says, "I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent names to answer and apply to the free national Constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. That is why I am calling on all true national citizens, state citizens, to help me morally and financially in my great work I am doing to help this national government. So for all you Moors out there who swear that Drew Ali brought a whole other government, no, he didn't. He just told you, this national government. For without a free national name, without a descent flag of your forefathers, there is not a national divine title of the government in which we live. This is from your true and divine prophet unto all American and foreign sympathizers. So I know that Pennsylvania has a flag, a seal, land, people, right, and constitution. The free national government in which I live. That's why I put this on my statement, right? And then when you write out this statement, it shouldn't take up the whole piece of paper at all, right? But you're going to have somewhere to sign, somewhere to date, but you don't sign it or date it until you are in front of the officer, whether it's at the post office or at your state building. That's when you sign it and date it, right? And again, you're going to have this form, this affidavit that you wrote, and when you walk in there looking like this, right? And they're going to be like, oh, you know what, sir, you can't wear that. And you show them on your affidavit, I'm required. This is my religious freedom. I'm required. Required means that you must. It's not a choice. You must. So you're telling them, I must in any and all ways when I am being identified, I must show that I am a part of this religious order, which is your commercial order. And again, that's why on my picture, I have my fez in my picture. Okay. All right, beloved, you were saying? Sister, you were saying?
I didn't say anything. I'm just listening.
Okay. So let me take this off. This is doing too much. Where is my, there she goes. So again, I have this information already prepared, and I'm telling you not from what I think, but from what I've done. I've done this. All right. So here's a disclaimer. I used identification. I used one of those Elodio AA22214 when I initially got this. I used two forms of ID that was issued by another place. Okay. But after I received it, right? After I didn't even receive this yet, right? Because I was doing it for scientific purposes. I didn't wish to have my state ID on there because my state ID didn't have my title of L annexed to my name, right? And so I was like, I just wanted to see. So I was able to secure it, but I had to resend certain information to them for them to accept it, right? But I'm letting you all know now, and again, I offer this service. You can get it with your state ID. You could, all right. Okay, that's the part that I would have to go into personally, privately, right? Not because I don't wish to share it, but it's just so there's little intricacies, right? The ID that I had said Brandon Davis L on it. And so they accepted both of these IDs. But lately, they have been rejecting these IDs. There are people who have followed in my footsteps who are now being rejected with this information. Right? And then I believe it's because they don't understand how to enforce or exercise religious authority. right? More rather than them saying, "Oh, well, we don't want these Moors to get in," right? I can't tell you how to express it. You have to understand how to express your religion. So those people who are coming in and just trying to get it under Moorish American just so that they can get it, if you don't know how to exercise your religious rights, you ain't gonna get it. But I've taught my students, and I'll show you. I've taught my students, right, that when you actually get your birth certificate, it doesn't have to be the long form. Get a regular one. It's all authenticated anyway, right? Get it sent to you with, and again, I'm doing this because if I hold it up too long, TikTok is going to try to knock me off, right? You see my name says Brandon Eugene Davis, right? But you see when it was sent, it says Brandon Eugene Davis L, right? So I would tell you, if you're going to take the Moorish route, right? And I'm just going to give y'all some titles. Shit, we see this one too. Nation of Islam runs this one hard. All right. So if you're going to annex any of these titles, these are Moorish titles of nobility. That's what they are. They're creditor titles of the Muslims. Okay. When you get your birth certificate sent to you, right, you make sure that it's being sent to your name plus title, like I did mine. Mine says Brandon Eugene Davis L. That's who it was sent to. All right. But my name, my born name, is Brandon Eugene Davis. And so what that is going to show them when you give it to them, damn, it's the same name. Right? And it might even help in your affidavit to place that all members are required to annex their titles as well. That so that you can avoid having to go through these issues of them saying, "Oh well, you don't have a name change." I've never changed my name. These are not my names. These are my titles. You see what I'm saying? As well, something else that could assist, right? Because again, you're showing them, whoever you're dealing with at the U.S. Department of State, you're showing them that you know your business. Okay? I'm looking for it. If I can't find it, okay. All right, cool. Okay, so here's another thing, right? Because, and do give the social security number. Because if you walk into any other bank and you don't give them the motherfucking account name and number, they're not going to open your shit. For all those people out there telling you, no, don't give the social, don't listen to them. You're making a claim here. That's what you're doing. You're making a claim. The DS-11 form is a claim. Okay? So, if you see, right, I signed it Davis L. Right? So, both of these, the birth certificate and the social security card, have my given name and then my given name and title showing this is me. This is me. Because they will, if you don't know any better, they will ask you. They'll tell you something like you have to have that use that name for 5 years in order for. No, the fuck I don't. If I became Muslim today, I'm Muslim today, in the past, and forever. If the brothers gave me the name Muhammad ibn Abdullah, whatever, I am now going. Prime example. This man. Cassius Marcellus Clay. We know who that is? Anybody know who that is?
Yes. Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely.
Formerly.
Right. So now, if y'all remember, I can't remember who he was going to fight, right? But the brother called him Cassius Clay, and he got so upset, like hurt in the heart. Like, come on, man. Why you going to call me that, man? I ain't tell you. My name is Muhammad Ali, man. They call me by my name. He chose to be identified as this, not this. So now how is someone going to tell you, oh, well, I heard it too. That's not on your birth certificate. Now, I am who I say I am, like you are who you say you are. And as long as it is not fraudulent, as long as you are not identifying yourself fraudulently to avoid persecution in any way, then you can contract and conduct business in any name you so choose. It doesn't take 5 years for me using the name. It is what it is once I say it is what it is. And when you read the DS-11 form, right, or when you get that form from the U.S. Department of State telling you they need more information and they list to you certain things that you can do, it says if you're going to go through all of that, it says that you can have 2 sworn affidavits by 2 individuals who attest to the fact of you using that name and your former name. So you don't have to have used it for 5 years, but what I would encourage you all, because myself personally, I've been using this. I actually came in this movement. I came in this movement and I thought that double title L-based stuff was the shit. It don't make no sense because all the titles mean the same thing, right? But I've always been signing my name and title on everything. By the time that I came into this movement in 2012, I didn't get my passport until 2022. That's a good length of time for me to have been everything. So when it came to, when I have evidence that I've been using the name for more than 5 years. So if you're not ready to do this passport stuff yet, make sure, and you are of the Moorish diaspora, start signing anything and everything, your name, and then the title of God that you choose to use. That's days, but they're telling you got to have used it for 5 years. They tell you got to use it for 5 years. You know what I mean? But I'm just giving y'all some pointers in hopes to assist you all, right? Damn, my bad, bro. I done had you on the full feed for the long. He's going in and out anyway. All right. Beloved Iman, I'm going to go ahead and drop you down.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate you for getting that with me.
Much love, peace, truth, and justice.
Absolutely. Brother Hollywood.
Peace.
He's the most patient brother I see. I appreciate you. What's cracking? What's good with you, bro?
Not much. I'm like I said, some of these people in the comments, like I'm just listening. I really appreciate the gems because it is people who confuse this information to the point where you don't even know what to do. And I can say after I joined this, it's so many light bulb moments. So many. Like you basically answered all my questions. And I was gonna come here and ask about that DS11, but brother, you breaking it down.
Yeah. So what I do, right? I put together, and you can get this for a fee on my website, link in bio, right?
And that's in your bio, you said?
Huh?
You said that's in your bio, right?
Yeah, this is on the website, anewfame.net, right? So what this is a book of bills, if you will. We've got treaties, constitutions, and then there are actual government forms. Like, and this is all for review, right?
Yep.
So here's the actual DS11 form. So now you can review it and read it and see what you can and can't do, what's expected of you, right? I would also encourage you to go online and see what they got about passports online as well. But now you can see it before you ever even touch it. You know what I mean? You've got the notice concerning fiduciary relationship, all right, which I did not use until recently, right? But regardless, you got the ethnicity and race form, so that you can see that white deals with North Africans and black deals with Africa in the general term. Right, you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And law specific, isn't it?
Right on the money.
Right, so if you're just an African from where? Now, if I say I'm an African from North Africa, we you know, now we can figure out where. There's Morocco, there's Libya, there's Egypt, there's the Sudan, you know, whatever may be up there in that beautiful horn, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's specific. Yes, 456 fiduciary. I've got the United States Department of Justice Criminal Resource Manual 1508, specifically mentioned identification documents, Title 18, United States Code 1028, and it tells you that the birth certificate, the state ID, and the driver's license are not intended to identify a person.
See, that's why, brother, you got the receipts, brother.
I'm saying, it tells you, it says, let me read this to you. Right? It says section, and mind you, let me show you this. This is from the U.S. Department of Justice. This ain't my shit, right? All right. Section 1028 of Title 18 designates three special, there's special, so they're not usual, non-federal identification documents, which is bullshit because they're all federal, and gives them preferred treatment. These three documents, in the absence of a national identity card, in the absence of a national identity document, are the prime means by which an individual establishes his or her identity in the United States. These three documents are A, the birth certificate. Now, we already talked about that being the lower self, right? The driver's license, which is also issued off the birth certificate, right?
Yep.
And the personal ID. Now, mind you, the national identity card is also issued off the birth certificate. But here you go. It says a birth certificate is not defined in 18 U.S.C. subsection 1028, since it is self-explanatory. This document is issued by different agencies in different states and foreign countries. Nevertheless, it represents the official governmental statement by the proper government agency that a person having such a name was born on a particular date in a particular place of specific parentage. Obviously, so they just, what I'm about to read, this is supposed to be obvious, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, a birth certificate is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document pertains to him.
Thanks.
That shit obvious to you? Wasn't obvious to me for years. I ain't know. Right? It says there are few physical characteristics that remain the same as those at the time of birth. Nevertheless, the birth certificate has become commonly accepted as an identification document in this country. So it was given preferred treatment in the absence of what? A national identity document. Let's go to the next one.
Ooh, absence of the national. Oh my.
You catch it? You caught it?
I'm catching. Hold on.
Right.
It's in the words.
It's all in the words, bro. It says driver's license is not defined in 18 USC subsection 1028. The original purpose of this government issued document was to state that a particular person was authorized to operate a vehicle upon the public roadways. Listen, it was not intended to establish one's identity. Because of the absence of a better document, however, the driver's license eventually has become commonly accepted as what? As the national identity card. It tells you. They tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Right in front of your face, but without telling you in a way.
If you want to hide something from a nigga,
Then worse.
hey, it says that Section 1028 covers both domestic as well as foreign government issued driver's license. C, personal identification card is defined. So this is the only one that is defined in 18 USC subsection 1028 D4 to mean an identification document issued by a state or local government solely for the purpose of identification. This definition would appear to limit such documents to those issued by domestic or within the United States governmental entities, in contrast to the first two, the birth certificates and driver's licenses. This document is normally issued by state departments of motor vehicles. Is the Department of Motor Vehicle a government agency?
Hell no. Sound foreign to me.
To provide an identification document, here's what it's for. The state ID, this is what it's for. To provide identification document for those persons who do not, for some reason, obtain a driver's license. They tell you. They tell you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, hidden in plain sight. Wordsmiths they are. Right? So also in this, I'm showing you about the Treasury Direct account.
Oh, and that's to get that trust set up?
Yeah, because so you have to understand that once you come into this here, all right, when you're operating with just this here, you're dealing with the Federal Reserve. That's the public. That's the public financial institution. Debits, it's a debit. Well, debits must equal credits. There must be a way for them to transact. So once you come into the private, now you're doing private banking with the U.S. Treasury, the proxy.
Okay.
So now you can go between debits and credits.
And
private, and public. You see what I'm saying?
go on and off and operate in both.
Yeah,
So you
because
wouldn't lose that social and all that other stuff unless you give it up.
yeah, it's like, look, right, when you get your passport, this is what's happening, right? Says I have a TD account, but some say don't use the social. So again, I don't know whether to or whether not. I'm just showing people certain information that I've come in contact with that I myself wasn't aware of that relates to this information. Everything that's in here is for your review. I'm not telling you to do anything at all. I ain't telling you to do one thing or another. All I'm expressing or hoping that an individual would do is to study.
Yep, from an experience.
Right. Absolutely. The Social Security is a transmitting utility. Yes, absolutely. And it's a financial instrument. It's a debenture.
It's if you put a zero in front of it, it becomes an account number.
No. If it's an 8-digit number, like in the past, you put a zero. Well, I don't know. I know that if you have an 8-digit number, right, that deals with the EIN, and since today we're using 9 digits, not 8,
Yeah.
we put the zero in front of that to make it a complete 9-digit.
Yeah, that was definitely back then, my bad.
Right. So that's what I'm aware of. All right. So there's the UCC1 financing statement. And there's the UCC3 addendum. Right? And as I learn more, I give more. This is all for you to study. You know what I mean? Look at this shit, because I didn't know this stuff. There's a lot of stuff in here I didn't know. I didn't know about any of that. And I'm hearing all of these people, Jonah Bay, Yusuf L, all these other people, right? And they're just talking about W8 bed and 98 numbers. And I'm like, yeah. And this and that. Me personally, I'm not doing business in the foreign in that capacity. I've got everything I need. All of that stuff that they're doing, it's right here. Drew Ali taught us that it's going to be right here. He told you I had to go around my elbow to get to my thumb. So he did all of those processes and procedures to figure out. He refined it. Hey, yo, all you really got to do is go to the heart. Just go right up to the door. Just get right with your State Department. All of that shit is taken care of. This is my international traveler's permit. This is my lifelong concealed and carry weapons permit. This is my tax exemption certificate. It's all right here. 1 second.
I mean, how y'all feeling about it, man? I feel like he dropping straight gems. I know people who charging 30,000 right now just for a sentence. Somebody's.
Thank you all for your resilience. I'm back. What was I saying? Yeah. I'm taking care of all of this. Takes my divine rights. So that's encompassing all the rights as well as the duties. It's right here. I just go right to the equitable ownership, right in the heart, right? For those who love Jesus. If we're going to act like Jesus is on this cross, right? Jesus got stabbed in the heart, and the life force flowed down, and he was redeemed on the creditor side. For those that love Jesus, this is over here, right? Remember, Jesus was up there with two other people. Remember, you have two selves. The dude over here, he denied Jesus. He remained a debtor. There was no salvation for him because he did not come into the light and become one with his true self. But then you had this guy over here, and he accepted. And what happened to him? He was redeemed. It's showing you the sides. He became like Christ. He became a redeemer. This cannot redeem itself. This cannot redeem itself. This redeems. Debits equal credits. They must total out, cancel out, zero out. They must balance. Look, he's on the right side of the Lord. The right side. He's seated at the right side. For you Masons and Shriners, look, we traveled east. I traveled east and found the oasis. Found myself. I know my higher self and my lower self. Self means person. Person means persona. They both belong to you. When you're in the wrong, you must pay up. When you are owed, someone else must pay up. It's called integrity. It's called standards. It's that quality or character. That character. This is your character. Your character. That's what we're talking about here. It's all accounting and business management. Trust and estate planning, administration. The administration of your own govern, which means control, mind. You must come into your own control of your state of mind and recognize others who are of the same sound mind. And then you must come together so that y'all have one sound, universe. I hope this has helped you all. If there's anyone else who may have a question, I'm going to go ahead and drop you down, beloved Hollywood. Appreciate you for being up here with us, family.
Gratitude for letting me in, and thank you for the dreams.
Absolutely, blood.
Be easy.
All right. All right. Someone asked me how I filled out my passport. So if you go to my site, where's my black marker? What'd I just do with it? Just had. Up there it is. If you go to this site, and you go to this tab on the site, I offer my services because I'm a businessman. We talking business. I can show you, but my time, just like your time, right? It's precious. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to exchange all of this here and not receive any exchange in return. Right? I'm giving you the best that I can. Right? I'm giving you everything that I have, that I've got. If you're asking me to help walk you through it, that's going to take me away from teaching everybody else. I need compensated for that. Understand? You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. Right? And now I'm going to show you the wordplay because a wordsmith I am. A new, it's new, foreign employer identification number. That's what this is. And it's the network. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you may have yourself information that, you know, applies to what we're talking that you might not have heard and you would love to give that, you know, give that information up, I'm also looking for people to help work with, right? Because it's just me right now. And I don't have all the information. You, yes, you may have some missing information that can help the rest of the people. If you're willing to get on board with me, get at me, right? Get at me so that we can come and teach everybody. I don't know it all, right? I don't know it all. You see what I'm saying? I can only give you what I got. I know that there are things that, you know, the more I learn, the more I realize there's more to learn. So I know there's things that I'm not aware of in, you know, myself right now, right? And so that's why right now my content kind of seems repetitive, right? Because I'm giving you what I got. I'll give y'all this. If you want to learn accounting and you don't want to be bored doing it and you want to teach your babies, get this. Get this. Get this. This is the game. They're teaching you everything I just showed you about business transactions and whatnot in the form of a game. The lemonade stand. The lemonade stand, that's a business. That is a business. They're teaching you how to run business. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? Because before I was studying this book, let me see. Before I got this book, don't see it. I was studying out of a collegiate accounting book. And I bullshit you not. I was nodding off and going to sleep reading these books. There it is. Oh shit. So I had this. It wasn't fun, but I'm willing to dig through it. But then something told me to go look for something a little more easier. When I tell you that this is set such a great foundation for this, let me show you something else. Is this the right one? No, that's not. Here's another book. And another book. Y'all see Jesus right there? See the cross? When I tell you that book helps me break this shit down, you know, if you can simplify something, then you can make it more readily accessible and digestible. You know, so that you can take it in much better. Where did I pull up? Oh, there it goes. Here we go. Right, so don't be afraid or ashamed to be reading a book that was prepared for a child. Right? Even in our Bibles, we're taught you should come to this with a childlike mind. Not meaning that you should be incompetent, but rather meaning that you are readily able to accept the information without having some type of information already in your mind that might clash with it. You know, be open to the information. You know, that book that I just showed you, this was a mercy. This is a mercy. You hear me? Because trying to eat all of this, right? And it's got the same stuff, but trying to eat all of this, this is like eating steak and all you got is your front two and your bottom two, yo. Right? All right. I hope I've been as helpful as possible for you all. If there are no more individuals who desire to come on up, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I ain't going to go through all of that. Allahu Akbar. Allah, Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, me, myself, and I, Islam. Y'all take care. The only savior is self. Remember that.